In some ways, this story is a relay race, right? All of Scripture, in some ways, is a relay. The Christian faith is a relay race, a race that God has set out for his children. We're called to run the race before us. God is a God who calls us and who sends us. He sends his children. He sends his older children, senior citizens. He sends his younger children, and all those in between. As a Christian, you're called to participate in the mission of God. You are called to run this race. You are part of the great cloud of witnesses of Abraham, of Samuel, of David, of Isaiah, of the people in the early church. John Chrysostom, the great preacher, Nicholas of Myra, who you may call Saint Nick at times, Augustine, Luther, Calvin, Edwards. Among all these names of people that you might have heard of or that you never heard of, we are part of this race. We are part of this cloud of witnesses. We are part of this team and lineage of disciples of Jesus who've been adopted into God's family. We know that God calls us to run the race. We may not know all those who come before us. We may not know the people who are passing the baton, but we know that God calls us to participate in his mission, to run the race that he set before us. In our own lives in Scripture, sometimes it looks like it's all over, it's all done. The race is gone. Sometimes it looks like we lost. Sometimes it looks like evil has won and the brokenness around us is permanent. Sometimes it feels like the voice of the Lord is never to be heard again. Have you had those days, those weeks, those years? Right? Where it's like, what is happening? But the brokenness of humanity does not overwhelm God's plan. God's light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. The race is not canceled. God has not lost. For the book of Revelation tells us and gives us a sneak peek of that victory. Right? It shows us what's going to happen and how things will be restored and how evil will be vanquished. Grove Church 2021. We continue to run the race set before us. Part of running the Christian race is passing the baton. And one way we can do that is by this making of disciples, by helping people connect with Christ, helping people listen to him and obey the Spirit. This we can do with 18-year-olds, with 12-year-olds, with 82-year-olds. You're not only called to run this race, you were created to run, and run to win the prize.